What's up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul.
Chris.
And Dave.
Okay, guys, we're going to be doing a different kind of video today. There's been a lot of rumors going around about the upcoming Big Brother season. And, Dave, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so for the first time, actually like every year, we have an All-Stars 2 rumor, except this time around, I personally find the rumor to be a bit more credible with everything that's going on in the world right now. So a lot of leaks have been coming out about a supposed cast, and that's what we're going to break down today, is why we think this is more likely to happen this year and who this rumored cast possibly is.
Yeah, that's right, guys. And it's really exciting because and we don't know if it's going to be like All-Star or just like some returning players or whatever, but the fact that it does sound like it's a more legitimate thing this season, it's really what we've been hoping for a really long time, and it would make a lot of sense for them to do it now, especially after all the COVID stuff, so they don't have to like vet people or whatever. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I think we've had a lot of seasons that where we've had past contestants come back, but they were like stupid, like coaches and duos, and randomly bringing Paul out for a fucking press of a button. Like, I think it's good to have like an all returning season back, just because it's just interesting. There's no newbies. Like, everyone knows the game, everyone has different opinions as to who they want to get out. So it's just like I'm just so interested to see who would work together, who would go against each other, and I think people deserve to have another chance to play the game again.
Yeah, so that being said, let's talk about some of these rumors. I know, Dave, you've been doing a lot of research on this. So who are some of the people that you've been hearing about a lot?
All right, so diving into it first, the two names that keep popping up, and we'll bunch them together, are Swaggy C and Bayleigh, both from Big Brother 20. So Swaggy C, you already know from Big Brother 20, and you possibly also know him and his wife now, Bayleigh, both on the latest season of the challenge. Swaggy C was the second person voted out his season, and Bayleigh was the first juror of her season. So it's interesting that Swaggy in particular is considered an all-star, but I know a lot of people felt that he got really screwed over in Big Brother 20 when Caitlyn backdoored him.
The thing with those two, it kind of makes sense because Swaggy, he was on for such a short period of time, but he really did make his mark that season. Like, they even brought him back to meet Bayleigh's family at one point, and he ended up proposing to her on finale night after after the 90 days or whatever. He still felt the same way about her, and her vice versa, because she said yes. And it was actually really so. And even when he was in the house, he was just so outgoing and out there. So it really makes sense. Bayleigh too. Bayleigh played a pretty good game that season. She got into one of the most infamous fights with Tyler, and it was the most. Oh my God! It was like the best feeds of the season. Possibly, it was an amazing fight. So what do you guys think about these two?
I agree. I haven't really watched too much of BB20. I kind of skipped around between after BB19, but I did see the fights on BB20, and I gotta say there's some pretty good fights in BB20, and I think her fight was probably one of my favorites to just watch through. Like, at least it was going on for at least 20 to 30 minutes. So if she comes back and starts fighting with other people like that, I'm okay with it.
Well, we'll see what will happen. There was a little more context with that fight. So when Swaggy C and Bayleigh were together, they did confirm after the show that Bayleigh had just found out, I think the same day or the day before, that she was pregnant. And that's when that whole fight had broken out. So the fight that Paul and Chris were just talking about was just one of the most insane things, because it ended up her going so hard at Tyler to the point that she ended up cutting her lip or her tongue, and she was bleeding as she was screaming at him. And while we saw the fight on the show, on the feeds, it was significantly longer. And the whole fight occurred whenever you had Haleigh kind of coming out and saying, "Hey, I'm the hacker, and it's not Bayleigh."
So Dave, why do you think this is a more credible with these two? Have you been hearing things a lot? Because I know recently, like a few days ago, Swaggy was defending Bayleigh online for something, and he said that it might affect any chance they have on getting on TV again. I'm not too sure what the context was with that, but it was last week or something. But What have you heard recently, like more recently?
So the fight that they got into, I'm not 100% certain what it's about, but it seems like it's something related to the challenge on MTV. Since like we all know that the challenge hosts a lot of Big Brother alumni, and this season in particular hosted, I don't know, I think I want to say like about practically like 1/4 the cast or so was like Big Brother alumni. So I don't know what exactly that fight was about, but the reason why I keep saying Bayleigh and Swaggy C is because the two of them, I highly doubt either one of them would do the show without each other. So I feel like if they want Swaggy or if they want Bayleigh, you're getting both of them. And especially now that, you know, they're married, they did Big Brother 20 together, they did the last season of the challenge together. But it's just the fact that they keep circulating a lot. And Swaggy is, like how Paul said before, is a big personality where even though he was only on the show for like about 2 weeks, yeah, he was the second person evicted. So the whole thing with him is like a lot of people want to see what he can really do if he doesn't get backdoored. I mean, there's always the argument in Big Brother, you are only as good as far as you get, regardless of how you play the game. But there was no denying that Swaggy was a good competitor and that he was very smart. He just got screwed over because Tyler played Caitlyn very, very well. And when Swaggy was in and being one of the founders of the Faute Alliance, 5 of us to the end, you know, the greatest alliance team you could probably think of.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was in that alliance, he was practically the head, and he was the biggest threat to level 6. So they knew that they had to get him out. So I'm going to be honest, I personally have wanted to see what he could do as a returning player. And while I know that he's not an all-star per se, he is he's a strong personality and a well-known player.
All right. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I agree. Yeah, I agree with everything that Dave said, and I definitely think Swaggy C deserves to come back for a season. However, kind of playing a little devil's advocate a bit, it is an all-star season, and maybe Paul can add on this, but for season 7, I don't know if they really had people that gone out so early on come back for all-stars.
Yeah, they didn't really have, no, not, well, yeah, they did, some people, mostly jury though, at least. But,
no, Boogie,
you know, a lot of people.
Like the 4th personality season?
Huh?
Wasn't Mike Boogie the 4th personality season?
That was season 14 though. That's totally.
Oh,
He made it pretty far in the season.
Well,
Big Brother, talking about all-star. In Big Brother 2.
Big Brother 2, he wasn't out second. He was out like
right before jury, I would say. Yeah.
Well, everyone was jury that season, so it's a little complicated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I guess, yeah. But I could. I definitely can see Swaggy C and Bayleigh coming back together, especially if it's not just an all-star season, but a season of like duo all-stars or vendettas or redemption or some shit. Yeah. I think it's definitely going to be a returning season, but it might not just be an all-star. It might not just be an all-star season. It could just be like with people that don't like each other.
Let's jump to our next person.
Yeah, Dave. And the whole duo discussion we'll get into later on. So the next person that I'll bring in, and still sticking with BB20 and still sticking with the Faute Alliance, is we have Haleigh Broucher is another name that keeps coming up. So
what have you heard about her?
I haven't heard too much, but I've heard like a lot of kind of like underlying rumors that supposedly she's been asked to come back and that, you know, she's just like a pick to come back. And I kind of do believe it if you go based off of production a little bit. Like she was one of the top 3 for AFP her season. She was a pretty well-liked figure. And in my opinion, after Swaggy C, or maybe even more so than Swaggy C, she was the smartest person in her alliance, and she was the last remaining person in her alliance.
That is true. She probably was the smartest person in her. I mean, Swaggy was out second, so you can basically say that she was the smartest person in that alliance. I mean, everyone. Yeah. Although she still made bad decisions based on intel she got from everyone else in her alliance, so you know, we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I want to see her back. I feel like there are better options, but I don't think I would mind it if she did. If it's a duo season, I don't know who we should be paired up with. I don't know. I for some reason I'm feeling like we won't see her because I don't know how many people from BB20 there could be because we've heard rumors about a lot of different people. And we don't want too many people from BB20 to like rule the season. It'll be like Big Brother 6 and the original All Stars all over again. We don't fucking want that. Chris, what do you think about Haleigh?
I don't really know Haleigh that much. Because I haven't really watched BB20 in depth as I did with other seasons. But I don't think she would come back for an All-Star season because I don't know. Did she make any arguments? Did she fight? Did she make any big moves?
Well, she was popular.
I don't care about that. That means nothing if she's popular.
Well, it means something to the fan base. I mean, like I said, she was in the top 3 for AFP. But the other thing, though, too, is that she is the one who called the House meeting, and she was the first person to realize that Tyler was the one basically controlling the House. No one else in the game made a move against him until she did. So that's something that she's pretty known for.
I did see that she was the one that started the conversation between the fight of Tyler and Bayleigh. I did see that. I just don't think she's like. I don't see her coming in. Hey guys, how's it going? And like being like an all-star figure. I think. I just don't.
I don't know.
I don't see it. But
the other thing though too, why I think. I mean, again, like I've seen her name float up. It's like she hasn't been. There's some people who, like Evil Dick and a couple other people have been saying are like 100% confirmed. Swaggy and Bayleigh are like the 100% confirmed ones. Haleigh is is still kind of up in the air, but it's a name that I keep seeing. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about too with some of the cast is also availability right now. If I follow her on Twitter, I don't remember if it was this year, but I'm pretty sure she recently graduated college and whatnot. So if my opinion, you're a recent college grad, you have all this going on, it kind of makes sense in my opinion, unless you have like a job and the job market kind of sucks right now. So it makes sense that she'd probably have about 3 months availability to jump on the show. And she was popular with the fan base. So
it's possible, but if other people, like she could be like a backup or something, like we don't know. I don't know if they would, because again, there's so many big BB20 rumors, and I don't.
So
they gotta like hedge their bets. Who's
all right? So I know what I want to jump into next, since you brought up the word backup. Do we want to talk any more about Haleigh, or are we good?
Yeah, no, we're good.
So since you said backup, well, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit on my list. The next person that's rumored to come back is Josh Martinez from Big Brother 19. And supposedly he was a producer backup, like someone on like their short list of who they would want to bring in, because somebody else who I have no idea who it is dropped out. So Josh got the call. Supposedly Josh is 100% confirmed because he's been calling up a bunch of Big Brother alumni saying, hey, I'm back. And I find that kind of believable because Josh, I mean, not saying that other cast members aren't, but Josh is a big mouth and he's a super fan. So him being back on the show, I see no reason why he wouldn't call up everybody that he talks to.
You're not supposed to do that, though. You're not supposed to call up your alumni and say, I'm going back on the show. I don't think they're allowed to do that. As far as I know.
I mean, they're not allowed, but what's stopping them?
And they can't prove that they did or not. I mean, it's just an internet rumor.
Honestly, all this pregame stuff, it's like, well, it's like if it's an all-star season, like nowadays, it's fucking expected,
Yeah.
Like that's just the way it is, Everyone pre-games now. I mean, you remember from BB 18, everyone was like James, Nicole, Pauly, like pre-gaming and stuff, or just I don't know. Like everyone talked to Derrick. Remember that BB 18? Like, well, it's just a rumor. Like we don't know if that's true. But yeah, I can definitely see Josh calling people if he's on. But again, CBS.
That's like pregame doesn't really do anything, to be honest. If anything, it makes them worse. Like when
because
especially if it gets around, like, hey, by the way, like he's been calling me and saying that to work together. Oh, I got the same call, and it's just like, and then usually it doesn't really happen.
I agree, and in fact, Chris, I can prove you correct. In Survivor, they just had their winter season. And a lot of these people had met up at one point in like the past year, like doing like a poker tournament, and they didn't know about the new season at the time. But they said that if all of them were back on the season, they would be in an alliance. And like one of the cast members remembered watching that, and so we targeted all those people. So yeah, pre-gaming this time, if it gets out, it's gonna put a target on your back. It's gonna be a lot like Sequester, which a lot of us watch. And a lot like that Survivor season, the latest Survivor season. So pre-gaming is actually going to hurt more than help this time. But
I don't even appreciate that. I don't really appreciate that pre-gaming. I would just say like, hey, I'm going back on the show. I can't wait to have fun this summer, and then like, that's it.
Yeah, but it's also inevitable. I mean, like, you have social media. All these people have social media accounts. Like, how many people talk and just say amongst themselves, like, if I'm ever back on this returnee, I'll work with you. Like, there's
all the
can't,
fucking time. That's what
what I mean?
reality. That's what reality TV is all about. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
it's basically people saying, "Hey, if I get back on," it's people pretending to be friends,
Yeah.
and then
I just think that the people that do the casting should tell the people that they're recruiting on the show to like not pregame because they want to have that shown on the show.
I think they do that, but they just
I'm almost positive that they do that, but I mean, there's no way to enforce that. You can't, like, unless they are like in control of these people's social media accounts on their phone, then like you can't really prove that they pre-gamed, or like, are you really going to take them off the season because they pre-gamed? No.
No, they could. I
They
think
could do that. They could do
Josh
that.
off.
No, I'm saying that they absolutely could do that, but I don't expect them to, depending on like the availability of cast members, especially right now at the current situation. They just probably want to show.
I think,
So,
but other than that, I think
I'm not worried about my whole thing is like I'm not worried about the pre-gaming. Like that's my whole thing. It's like it's gonna happen, and then production is gonna try to interfere, come up with some sort of random games to try to separate these people, whatever it might be.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Exactly, and then that again, like I mean, production is definitely gonna interfere. Some of them know each other. It's doing an All-Star season in 2020. It's like back then when they did All-Stars for BB7. The whole thing was like social media wasn't even a thing back then. Now it is. It's impossible to get a season where returnees aren't going to have spoken to each other or aren't going to say, I'm going to be in alliance with you or not. We're just going to have to see what happens in the house. I mean, if pre-gaming happens, we're just going to have to take it as is and see what CBS does about it. And like I said.
No, Dave, I totally agree with you with that, pre-gaming is going to happen. I just say that I don't like when people do it and then they get into the house and I don't know. I just don't like it, but I understand it.
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, like, it's just my whole thing is it just depends how you work it. Like, Tommy and Christy, like, it wasn't really a pregame, but that's a whole different story for potentially another.
It's like making and also it's just making an alliance and breaking it. But moving on.
Anyway, back to Josh. Yeah, I liked Josh's season. He was entertaining. Like every time I remember doing.
Hold on. You like Josh's season?
Yeah, I liked Josh's season.
19.
No, I liked Josh in his season.
Oh, you said you liked his season is what you said.
No, I said I liked Josh is what I don't know what
Josh's season is what you said.
Yeah, I liked Josh whatever the hell I said. I liked Josh in his season is what I meant to say. Like that's what fucking hard to. Yeah. Anyway, I liked Josh in his season. He was the reason it was entertaining. I remember doing live feed stuff. He was smarter than we thought he was. He would he pretended not to really know what was going on in the game. I remember, I just remember being entertained by him. Like, he was annoying, early on, but, you can tell that he progressed a lot in the game and then in those 90 days. And sure, he was an emotional train wreck, but I think he's more level-headed now. So I'm excited to see him come back. Chris?
It's hard to say because I know that he was also on the challenge too. And I don't watch the challenge. I might have to watch the challenge now because all these fucking Big Brother contestants are now on the challenge.
Yeah, everyone watches
and so I want to see how he does in those types. I want to see how these contestants do on these shows because maybe their strategy and their social skills changed along the way. But I think he would be good for an all-star season. I don't think he's going to be doing the pots and pans though. And all that stuff.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm sure production will encourage him to do the pots and pans. It's his.
But he's not going to. He's not going to though.
How do you know that?
Because he did it.
Depends how it goes.
Yeah, because of the season he did it with new people. I don't know.
I think he'll do it just on a occasion, depending on what happens. Well, I know who will jump into the next after this.
If he's on the bottom, then he'll do it.
Yeah, and like I said, production's going to want him to do it. It's became such a signature thing that the very next day, I forgot what show it was that Julie Chen was on that she got canceled from. I don't know.
The Talk?
The Talk, there we go. So she was on The Talk. So the following day, she actually gave him custom pots and pans, and I believe it had his face on them.
Yeah, I remember that.
After he won the show. So I'm sure production's going to tell him to do it at least once, just because it's his thing. Even though Evil Dick kind of started that, but it became a bigger thing with Josh. But back to Josh, by the way. So like Chris had mentioned, Josh was also on the challenge, I think, for about 3 seasons he was on. So he actually knows Swaggy. I'm pretty sure he was on at least 2 seasons. I think he was on 3 seasons.
What the fuck?
But yeah, I'd have to look it up. But I know
I
he
think
was
I
on
have
at
to
least
watch
2
the
seasons.
challenge. I gotta watch the challenge.
But
now.
so a couple people I know that watch the challenge don't like him on the challenge. I mean, that's just their opinion. I don't know, but I have heard that Josh does okay on the show or does good on the show. I don't really know, but the main thing to why it's important is the last season of the challenge. Swaggy C and Bayleigh were on there. If Swaggy C and Bayleigh are on the season and Josh is on the season, there's your kind of accidental pregame.
How does that work though with MTV and CBS like having crossover shows?
I don't know, Chris. Let's not worry about that.
I'm not worried about it. They could just take whoever they want. Speaking of Josh and whether or not he'll use the pots and pans, and why I do think he'll use the pots and pans, is because if the next person is confirmed, and supposedly, I couldn't give you a percentage, but there's a lot of talk that this person's going to be back. Cody Nickson, AFP for Big Brother 19. He was the second person out. We know that he won his battle back, and we know that he then became the first juror. But like I said, he won America's Favorite, and if you want to spark some controversy already or spark some drama, you put him in a house with Josh. So,
yeah, I mean, I think chance-wise, I can't see Cody wanting to come back without Jessica. I believe Jessica is pregnant again, I think. I want to say she is. So I don't know if he would come back.
She is pregnant with the second kid. I don't know if she gave birth yet or not, but that was confirmed because the Big Brother Twitter retweeted her saying that she was pregnant again. But I don't know. I mean, like, there's some issues why I don't know about Cody, just because, like, again, like Paul said, I can't see him coming back without Jessica, but understandably, I can't see Jessica coming back because, having a second child.
Well, I can see her coming back if she's not pregnant anymore. Like,
I can also see production asking Cody to come. Cody says no, and then Josh is the backup.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
I can also see that too.
Cody, I don't think Cody would want to come back. He won the Amazing Race with Jessica.
There's no reason for him to. Yeah.
Yeah, like
he doesn't like the show anyways, so
he doesn't like the show. Yeah.
He's not good for it. So.
I don't know.
No, he was fine for it actually. He was pretty good, but whatever.
I mean, Cody was genuinely my favorite player that season.
They like to stir the pot.
He's a fierce competitor.
Yeah, like he's tough, but again, I don't think he'll not come in for that. I just don't think he'll come back.
Yeah, I agree with Paul. I just don't think he's going to come back, just based on the pregnancy and his. No, I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think he would
make
come
any
back
sense.
without Jessica. It would be really weird, but maybe.
Yeah, I'd be surprised, but again, I'm going based off the names that keep popping up, and his keeps popping up a lot, and I was surprised myself.
Who's next, Dave? We got.
All right. So the next one I'll bring up, we'll stick with Big Brother 19 or 18, if you want to say, but the other one who I think is likely to come back is Paul.
It's weird. Yeah. As much as I don't want him to come back, I think he should come back.
Yeah, he really does need to. Okay, first, well, what have you heard about that, Dave?
Just like a ton of rumors. I've seen it floating around. I believe he's on Evil Dick's 100% confirmed list. A couple other people have been retweeting a lot of things that Paul said. I've seen that, again, just going based off of Twitter. I haven't checked Reddit for Paul, but going based off of Twitter, he's a name that keeps coming back. And I just think general sensibility. I mean, love him or hate him. I mean, he's gotten second place twice. He's a pretty damn good player to get that far. His jury management is terrible, but I mean, I don't think he's. I think he's a modern all-star for Big Brother.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about Paul. So I was talking about this with Chris before about how I think Paul would probably be, probably have grown. Like he knows. I think he knows why he lost now in those seasons. So the reason why he lost, for those of you who don't know. In Big Brother 18 and Big Brother 19. Big Brother 18, he lied to Davon and the jury. And in Big Brother 19, he lied to everyone in the jury. So that's the reason. That's the reason he lost Big Brother 18 and Big Brother 19. If he just told Davon the truth in Big Brother 18, she probably would have voted for him and probably wouldn't have followed, like Davon didn't even like Nicole, And in Big Brother 19, he basically just did the same strategy, and then everyone in the jury just talked and they're like, oh, Paul was lying to everyone. Like, why is he lying to us still when he's, when we're already left the game? So, I mean, so I think by now he learned his lesson. Like, you can lie to people up until jury. Like, you have to tell them the truth and manage the jury. Be like, hey, look, we're doing this, or like a goodbye message. Like, sure, you risk one player coming back, but that's Big Brother. Like, you have to do it like that. There's nothing else you can do. Chris, thoughts about Paul coming back?
Yeah, I don't know. I think if Paul came back, he wouldn't make final two. That's just my opinion about it. I definitely think he has grown, or maybe he hasn't grown. Who knows? Like maybe he just is going to play the game totally different. And I think if he has changed the way he perceives things, he might get out early because of that. Because the way he played it before, yeah, he had lied a lot, but he made it to the final two. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't think he would. I think he would have to work on his jury speeches a little bit better. But I think if Paul came back, he would be entertaining to watch. But I don't think he would make it to the end.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Dave?
like we'll see how he plays the game this time around. I mean, I'd be surprised if we have an All-Star season and Paul didn't come back. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I
Good
mean,
player.
like the whole thing with Big Brother 19 in particular is that Josh weaponized those goodbye videos against Paul, and like you guys said, Paul still kept on lying in the goodbye videos. And again, like people want to say, all right, well, Paul was the better player, and I'm not going to deny. I personally think in Big Brother 19, Paul was the better player. But the whole thing is that Big Brother is a game where you're also playing with people's emotions, and like we all said, Paul's jury management and his goodbye videos were all terrible. Because I remember, I forgot who it was. I think it was when Jason got voted out. Your friend got voted out.
Jason Dent, Chris's friend. Please check out Chris Wallace's
Whistle Nut Weekend documentary.
Whistle Nut Weekend documentary on Reality Room Podcast. Check it out.
It's awesome. But but I think it was that one where like you had like Paul literally lie, and then you had Josh said like, hey, I was in a final two alliance, and then I think it was Paul was like, Alex betrayed us. So it was when Jason got voted out. So I mean, we'll see if he learned from it. I hope so, for his own sake.
All right, so let's jump into our next house guest. Dave, who do you got?
All right, so here's one that I'm not too familiar with, and this one I think is about 100% confirmed. We have Frankie Grande from Big Brother 16 and Celebrity Big Brother UK 18.
What have you heard?
I'm going to be honest, a shit ton of that he's back and a lot of complaints that he's back.
Okay, so here's the thing about Frankie. I like him. I think do I think he should come back? I'm not entirely sure. Do I think he'll be an interesting to play with? Yes. Okay, he was a challenge beast. Like, he did very, very well his season. Honestly, if Derrick didn't win some key like HOHs and vetoes, Frankie would have won that season. Like, absolutely. He played an incredible game. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he would have won if that wasn't that bullshit twist button thing didn't happen. But he probably would have won. He probably would have won that veto. But anyways, here's the thing about Frank. I keep saying this in all these videos that I don't really want him to come back. But you know what the fucking weirdest thing is? I do want him to come back. And I think the reason why I want him to come back is because of not the reasons that you would think. I want him to come back because I want people to target him, and I think he's not going to be able to play the same game that he did before because the way he played the game before was he was in this big alliance and then a small alliance, and then everybody wanted the same people out. But with an all-star season, if you have like almost equal players, it's so hard to play the game that way. So I think if Frankie came back, I think he would be the reverse way of he would have to play the reverse way of how he played Big Brother 16, which will be interesting.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you can't deny that like middle of the season he started to be a big target. So he'll probably so he came out in the middle of the season as being Ariana Grande's brother, and I think at that point he was playing like a defensive game at that point. So we'll probably see him start defensive early. And honestly, like that was some of his best moment was that week. Like he got himself out of a lot of trouble. He won that BOB competition all on his own. Like he's an absolute challenge like Chad. Like he's a fucking challenge Chad. And I'm just really excited to see him come back just for the challenge stuff. Social game, I think he'll do decently well. I don't know if he'll be such a big target like you said. I honestly, there's going to be so many big names that targeting him. I think people will actually ally him instead of target him because he's a big target. Like I think big targets will probably stick together. It's just my opinion. Anyway, but that's what I think. Dave, any thoughts on Frankie or Chris, if you want to finish up?
I'm not too familiar with him, but I'm just curious. Do you guys know anything about how he did in Celebrity Big Brother?
He didn't do that.
Yeah. I actually watched that because I heard Renee from Mob Watch was on it, and she was really like I wish she was actually on on a U.S. version of Big Brother because she is so entertaining. He didn't do much in Celebrity. He didn't really do much, and the platform is a little different I think it's like when you nominate someone, America votes who they want to vote out. So it's like, I guess he played it so safe.
You mean UK votes who they want out?
Yeah. UK, my
weird.
bad. But I think you're going to see a different Frankie from season 16 because his whole big thing because his whole big thing was like he's Ariana Grande. I don't think anyone gives a shit at this point if he's related to Ariana Grande. I don't think he really. Yeah, he is. But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't literally mean anything. If you're related to Barack Obama, it doesn't mean shit. It really won't mean anything if his sister was a pop star.
I don't know.
No, it's not going to mean anything.
So random. All right. That's enough about Frankie.
That's how I feel about him. Yeah.
I hope he does come back, and that's an interesting
I do want him
choice.
to come back, which is so weird. I never thought I would say this, but I do want him to come back, and I think he's going to play a lot more strategic than he did last time.
Who's next, Dave?
All right. So from here on out, everybody else were just kind of like names that are just kind of being thrown around on the internet. I mean, I don't know what's true, what's not. All right. So we'll start with Big Brother 21. We'll go back last year. So the name that's being thrown around a little bit is Nicole Anthony. So we all know Nicole. She was third place last season, and she won AFP because she was probably the only likable person that season besides Tom.
Here's the thing. I like Nicole, and I do want her to come back, but she did not play very strategically in her season. She started really playing like middle of the road, but with that cast, they had such a big alliance early on, so it kind of makes sense why she had to play from the bottom. Really, nothing else she could have done. Like early on in the game. I'm curious to see how she'll do. The thing is, if she's in the house with such big players, like she could fly under the radar and make it pretty far. Or they could all love her and remember her from last season and target her immediately because she's so likable. So it's going to be really tough to see how she would play it. Chris,
I agree, and I would actually be very shocked if she did get on the season. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because of the other names that you keep mentioning, Dave. Like I can't see like Josh, Paul, Frankie, possibly Cody, Bayleigh, and Swaggy, and then just Nicole. So, like, those people and then Nicole. So, when I think about Nicole mixed with those people, the first thing I'm thinking is, like, she's a first easy boot. They're all so big. Like, they're all, like what Paul just said, they're all, like, so big personalities. And then you have Nicole. It's like, I just don't see, unless you have, like, other people that are like her, I can see her possibly being on the show. But I just don't see it, really.
So here's I disagree with that for a different reason. So my take on it is they need someone from Big Brother 21. Like that's my assumption. Like that's what I think that production feels like they have to do. And like if you're gonna bring anybody from Big Brother 21, Nicole's the optimal person to pick, just for everything with that season. But the whole thing with Nicole is that it's because she could fly under the radar that she could get far enough. I feel like if you have all these big players there, like they're all going to be targeting each other. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Swaggy C's not going to target Nicole. Swaggy C's going to be like, I want Cody out because he's a competition threat.
It's possible.
Like I feel like they're going to be targeting all the big ones, and I feel like Nicole's just going to be able to float away. Like, hey, you have me for a vote. I'm not going to win anything, even though she did win a couple competitions towards the end of her season, but one of them was thrown to her. But besides that, I mean, the other thing that was interesting with Nicole is that people don't really talk about it too much. But if you watch on the live feed, she did influence a good amount of the votes. Not always, but like she had her influence in the house. It wasn't so grand, but like she had like a small cluster that she kind of ran.
Yeah, I mean, she did. Like I love Nicole, and I definitely do want to see her back. I just. I just don't know how good she would do. I really do think there's a possibility, like everyone says, big targets target each other. No, I think big targets are going to ally this season.
That's
I really
how I
do.
feel. Yeah.
It's going to be another early big alliance with like 8 people or like 6 people or whoever. Of big targets being like, okay, we have to stick together because everyone else is going to target us or something nonsense.
Especially if Frankie's on the show, because like think about Frankie's season, like all the big targets, all the big people aligned with each other, and made it far.
Yeah,
all Frankie would have to
makes
say is
sense.
the same shit, and then
Worked on my season.
Worked on my season, yeah.
So look, my prediction with this is that you're gonna have like I agree, like you'll see some of the people who are big aligned with each other, but I feel like you'll have 2 sides of it where you'll have like the house kind of split into 2, where you have like the 2 big sides coming at each other, and whoever Nicole says that she'll vote with will protect her, because again, it's like I don't know. I just don't see the strategy of taking her out when she's not a competition threat. She's smart.
The same reason why you're saying that, like why like you wouldn't take her out because she's not a competition threat. It's the same reason why I don't think she would be on All Stars. It's because she's not really that competitive, and it just doesn't make any sense. She's not. I don't think she's an All Star compared to all the people that we were mentioning. That's all. I don't think she would fit well.
Neither is like Swaggy C when he was the second one out. But just to wrap up on Nicole.
Yeah.
Again,
but Chris said that though.
If they are trying to pull at least somebody from each of the more recent seasons, which is like what it seems to be, if you're gonna pull someone from 21, Nicole would be the person to pull.
Yeah, it might not even be All-Stars either. Like it could be something completely different. All right. Anyway, let's jump on to our next house guest, Nicole. If you're watching, we still love you, but
Yeah, Nicole was awesome. Me and Paul actually met Nicole. Nicole's cool.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah. So what were we gonna say? So the next one, I'm gonna wrap the 2 of them together, and this is one that I've seen the names fly around throughout the week, but one of the reasons why I'm kind of glad we're filming this today, prior to the 12th, is the fact that I've been seeing Tyler and Angela's names pop up a lot more this morning with supposed more confirmations, and whoever is supposedly on this rumored cast is you're gonna see the rumors keep flying until it's officially announced or officially, hey, like this isn't what we're doing for this season. But Tyler and Angela from Big Brother 20. So Tyler won AFP his season. He placed second place. He lost to Casey, who he had a final 2 deal with. And we know that him and Angela had fallen in love, and to this day they are still together. I believe that they're living together in their hometown because they both grew up in the same area. And Angela placed, I believe it was 4th place her season. So what I've heard is that people want Tyler back, understandably so. I think Tyler is a great player. He ran the house his season, and like I said, he won AFP, but he has been cited numerous times as saying, I will not come back unless Angela's with me. So
yeah, that's what I heard too. I mean, but it's like I do want to see Tyler back. Angela, if it's like a duo situation, would make sense.
Yes.
Which it could very well be, because we know how Big Brother just likes to bring back those old school twists. Hey guys, remember 13 was a duo season? We're doing it again in 22. What were we at? 22.
Yeah.
We're back. Hey, twins again. Anyway, so yeah, I can see Tyler coming back, and that they have to bring Angela back. Tyler did very well his season, and arguably it was one of the better seasons that came out in the past 5 years. Possibly, I would say it's second best season before 17, so 17 and 20. People might disagree with that, and he had control like the whole time. Like no one in the Faute Alliance even figured out that he was like not with them for literally the entire game until it was just him, and it was absolutely crazy. Angela, she wasn't a big personality in the house. She didn't really talk too much. You can tell that she was strategic. She was able to make moves when she had to make moves. But she wasn't like a big personality or anything. So it would be a good personality mix to have her in there, because everyone else is so loud and talkative. To have someone more quiet and might be a good balance. But I think having 2 like couples in, that's what makes me think it could very well be a duo season, and we'll talk about that later. But I don't know. Chris, thoughts on Tyler and Angela?
Yeah, I completely agree with what both of you are saying. Again, I haven't really watched BB20 as much as you guys have in depth, but I will
think that's
say
something we're gonna have to do.
I think I would like to see Tyler come back. I don't want to see Angela come back because it's like you said, Angela's kind of like a quiet person.
Yeah.
And if what you're saying is true, and like let's say all these people that we're mentioning are coming back, like I just don't see like Nicole and like Angela, like compared to the guys, they're not really so much in the
Chemistry.
same league. They're not in the same league, I think. And I would like to see Tyler. Yeah, I
I
just
see
don't think.
Tyler and Nicole clicking, honestly.
Yeah, but like the guys leagues and the girls leagues, I think there's just better girls to choose from other seasons. That are
That's true. There's certainly a lot of female
completely
talent
agree.
that we've had in the last.
I think Bayleigh from BB20 can work. I just don't see Angela from BB20 working.
Yeah, but like
So-
I said, if it's true that Tyler won't do it without Angela, they're gonna bring Angela back to bring back Tyler because a lot of people want Tyler, myself included.
I would like to see Tyler come back, and I haven't even watched this season. I've just
I would love to see Tyler. Yeah,
Yeah, Tyler-
it'd be really interesting.
Tyler
Yeah.
was great. I've always wanted to see, for whatever reason, I want to see Tyler versus Mickey from Big Brother 21, but I really would be surprised if Mickey comes back. But
Yeah, I don't
Jack,
think so.
whatever.
I don't know. I don't think I want to see that.
Okay.
It's
Next
something I want to see. But
next
yeah,
person.
just a quick wrap up on Tyler and Angela, particularly with Angela, is that it wasn't really shown on the show, but on the feeds, her and Casey were like really running the votes. Like they played a very open kind of under the radar game in the beginning, and Angela was really like swinging votes. So she's not just a do nothing player. And very early on, she was winning I think it won like one of the first couple competitions, and she straight up said like, I'm not going to physically compete anymore because I want to fly under the radar. And then her and Tyler kind of ran the house together later on. So she's not like don't sleep on her is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
like,
but
good player.
I'm just gonna end this with her. I think what you just said works on like a normal season of Big Brother, but I feel like with an all-star season of Big Brother, people will just recognize that, and that's all I have to
Yeah.
say.
I don't
We'll see
know.
what
I
happens.
mean, sometimes people are so hyper like into the game that they miss even like obvious things. So you never know. But we'll see what happens. Or everyone's gonna be so paranoid. Like that's the thing. Like no one like on like an all-star season or one with like so many returning players. Like everyone's gonna be like so scared.
Good.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
beans are gonna be great.
And I think a lot of people are going to be afraid of Tyler, but they might want to ally with Tyler. But we'll get into that as we go on. So we have 3 more people to cover, and each one of these 3 are kind of like in a weird sort of range. So the name that I've been seeing pop up a lot, which I don't think is a surprise to anybody, is Derrick. However, with Derrick, it's really kind of back and forth whether or not he's on it or not. I think he tweeted out something saying that he's not really on it, something
Yeah.
that implied that he's not on it.
He said it's fake news. He just said fake news, and that's all he said.
Yeah, but which really, doesn't mean much. It could just be like him saying, I don't want to confirm this because I want to be on the show and I don't want CBS to take me off. But it could also just be that he's genuinely not on it. He does have another TV show that he does, I think, on the Discovery Channel. I don't know what's the status with that, so I don't know if that prevents
I think
him
they're
from-
still doing it. Yeah.
Okay, so that might prevent him from being on the show. But as we know about Derrick, we know that he is the winner of Big Brother 16, and he was never on the block.
Well, here's the thing about Derrick. Derrick's okay. So Derrick was a really good player. Like he was a strategic beast. But the people his season didn't really like. Everyone says that the people he played with were not that great, like strategically. Which is absolutely true. Like everyone that was good strategically ended up always being on the bottom anyway. Like I would say maybe the other good strategic player was in that alliance anyway was probably Frankie and Christine. And Nicole was good strategically as well. Okay, but anyway, I'm talking too much. All right, so yeah. I do like Derrick and I want to see him come back. I don't know if he'll do as good as he would on his original season, and I think it's because he's such a big target. I think they'll just want to get him out immediately. I think he'll probably would not be fair for it wouldn't be like a fair thing. I think he'll just get out like so quick, like without like him having to do anything. They might do like a day 1 eviction or something, like another like BS thing like that, and he'll probably get out like day 1, like without even talking to anyone. I think it's very, very possible. But alternatively, he could do very well. He can make it to the end again, or But anyway, this would be like his real test. Anyway, everyone puts him in like the top 3 or top 5 players, and honestly, like I want to see if that's deserved. So that's why I would want to see him come back. He has been posting that he is not back or whatever, but also I've been seeing him tweet a lot more these past 3 days than I've ever seen him tweet before, like ever. Like I'm seeing him tweet like so many times. And I really think that's just like a cover up. Like, I think he's on the show and he's like nervous. So he's just tweeting more stuff like randomly. Like he randomly tweeted that he lost money in the stock market. I'm like, why are you tweeting that?
I also
like
saw him
2 or
like
3 things about that.
tweet something out calling out Dr. Will, who we know is not on this season for every reason. But apparently a fan or a couple fans have contacted Dr. Will saying, like, are you going to be back on this season? And Dr. Will was like, like, no. And he's like, well, what the fan had responded, like, what if we crowdfund it? Like,
And then Derrick said $1 million.
No, not Derrick. Dr. Will said $1 million.
No, Derrick said $1 million.
Oh, Derrick said $1 million? All right, well. I know Derrick called Dr. Will out about that.
He did?
Yeah, I'm almost positive that I'm almost positive from what I read was that Dr. Will was the one who responded $1 million to crowdsource.
I'm really sure it was
you
Derrick.
You could double check that, but as Paul's looking that up, Chris, what are your thoughts on Derrick?
Yeah, I wanted to listen to what both of you had to say, especially Paul, because Paul really knows Derrick's game a lot, and everything he says is true. I want to see Derrick play this game because I want to see if he really is the best player to ever exist in Big Brother history. Like if he comes back for the season and he's not on the block and he makes the fucking final 2 and he wins, then he is the actual best player to ever fucking play Big Brother.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the reason why I would want to see him come back. However, I don't think he is going to come back because of what's going on in the world with stupid, like the cops and all that stuff. And I just think it would be a really bad look if he just came back, especially now. So
it would be risky for him.
Ways. Yeah, it would be risky for his career too. So I don't think he's coming back, but I would want him to come back.
I thought he left being a cop. I thought he was just doing the show now, but I don't know.
You find that tweet? I think he's still a detective. I don't know. Yeah, Dr. Will did say $1 million, and then Derrick said in cash.
Okay.
And he didn't call him out or anything. He just.
I would like to see Derrick come back, but I don't think he's coming back. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's a name that I kept on seeing floating around. I mean, in my opinion,
would love to see him come back. Would love to see him.
I want him back, but I would, I'd be surprised either. I wouldn't be surprised either way. Is what I'm saying. So
either way, watch Breaking Homicide, everybody.
Is it good?
That's his show. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I read his book. His book is good. Undercover Edge. I read the whole book.
We met Derrick 3 times already. We're shouting him out on everything he's in. Yeah, he's in our heads already.
Well, look at that, guys. He's already playing us to like plug him in. Yeah, I guess go buy his book and go watch a show.
Dave,
right?
who's the next person?
Right.
Dave?
So
who's next,
person,
Dave?
So another one that I'm hearing is kind of mixed. I'm personally kind of doubtful about this one is Britney Haynes from Big Brother 12 and 14. So we know that she was in Big Brother 12. I think she was AFP or like was a fan favorite. I could be wrong on that one. But I know Big Brother 14, she came back as a coach, and I think
Jeff won America's favorite in 12.
Okay, maybe.
Oh wait, no. Jeff wasn't in 12. He was in 11. Never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I know about her more so from 14. But 14, we know that she came back as a coach, and that she made it further than. Well, no, she made it second furthest out of the coaches. But yeah,
which was a questionable decision to bring her back as a coach. But anyway, at the times. Okay, so here's the thing with Britney. I love Britney. She's hilarious. Great sense of humor and pure joy to watch in both of her seasons. I don't think she would come back again. Like, that's just my personal opinion. I really don't think she would come back. I kind of do want to see her to come back again, though, because, last time she came in as a coach and, it was a completely different game. And in her first season, she got screwed over because a 4-person alliance basically made it to the end, minus 1 person. And in 14, like, she got outplayed by Dan, really.
Oh yeah, big time on that.
Yeah. So it would be interesting to see her come back, but purely just because she's fun to watch, like on feeds. Like she just makes funny comments, and she'll make like the episodes a little more interesting. Strategically, I don't think she's any worse than any other player. You know, I don't know. She's above average strategy wise, I'd say. She's always she made it to the end, almost to the end in her first season. I don't know, Chris, what do you think?
I think Britney. I would like to see Britney come back for an All-Star season, and this is why I think if she watched back her seasons like 14 and 12,
Yeah.
I think she's almost in the same boat with Paul in the sense of like, yes, I've had 2 seasons to watch back and learn from my mistakes, and I want to play the game differently for the 3rd time in a row, or this is the 3rd time period. And out of all the females that we just mentioned, I would feel like she has the best shot over like Nicole and Angela because she's funny to watch on feeds. She stirs shit up, and I think out of the girls, she's not like oblivious, and she could do pretty good in comps, and she's also just well known in CBS. So
Yeah,
I would like to see her come back, and even if she doesn't want to, I don't know. I think out of all the girls, she should. I think if they have to choose 8 girls, she would definitely be my top.
Yeah, I'm sure she got the call. I just think it's like an issue whether or not she accepted it.
Oh yeah, she definitely accepted it. If she got a call, yeah, she accepted Amazing Race, so why wouldn't she accept Big Brother?
That's a good point.
Oh, that's true. She did Amazing Race recently.
With Janelle, so
with Janelle, that's right. That just happened. I forgot. I watched that season. They were out pretty early though.
Yeah.
Yeah, third out. I think they're like second or third out. But yeah, we could use that to transition to our next person who's on our list. This one is probably out of everybody on the list, I'm most doubtful about this one. But like the rest of the Big Brother fan base, who wouldn't want her back, and that's Janelle. So what I've heard is that Janelle, and Evil Dick tweeted this one out, and for those of you who don't know, Evil Dick and Janelle are pretty good friends. So I believe Evil Dick, when he said this, and it just makes sense, is that Janelle had gotten the call, but she declined. I think she's a mother of like 3 or 4, so, you know.
Right.
I'd be surprised if Janelle came back for anything other than like hosting a veto comp.
I'm pretty sure she was already a mother of 3 when she came back in 14, though.
Maybe.
So
maybe.
I don't see her coming back. It's so weird that I think Brittany's coming back and Janelle's not. But the only reason why I think Janelle's really not coming back is because I just think she. I just don't think she is. Really.
I'm just gonna say it like this. I think it's a duo. I think it was a duo thing, and I think it was supposed to be Britney and Janelle, and maybe one of them said no.
Yeah, especially since they were on Amazing Race too. They're not going to do Britney and Janelle together. I think that's why I thought Janelle wasn't going to be on it, because I just don't see Britney and Janelle.
I just said.
I just think that Britney and Janelle wouldn't be on the same season as Big Brother because they were both on fucking Amazing
14.
Race as a duo.
And they were on 14.
This is weird.
They were on 14 together.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. I don't think so.
They were a duo. They were a duo on Amazing Race.
Together, yeah.
Yeah, so they're aiming for a duo season with this, then it makes sense to want the 2 of them back. So, but that's true. If Janelle did it recently, then maybe she is more likely if this is a shorter season, then maybe she would do it.
Maybe she's just saying that she didn't accept it, because she knows it's going to come out anyway.
Yeah, so now I'm more interested. Like I said, I was more doubtful about her. Now I'm a little more hopeful after this discussion.
I do like Janelle, but I don't know how. Honestly, to me, again, it's like a legacy thing. Well, not again. I guess I never made this point yet, but she has a legacy that she would have to uphold. And in 14, you can make the argument that it's because it's coaches, and it was a kind of a BS situation that she even got there in the first. She even she came in as a coach, and she wasn't playing the game. She wasn't playing a player game. She was playing a coach game, and then they kind of got flipped around.
Wasn't she one of the ones who voted not to want to reverse it?
No, everyone voted to get back in the game except Boogie.
There we go. No, one of them didn't. But so that's where we're at with the list. And then I'm just gonna. I don't have it written down, but it's another name that I've seen thrown around a couple times. Someone had said that Derrick was 100% with this other person, and I really would love it to happen, but I highly doubt it. And this will be the last person we mention, Dan Gheesling. I'd seen that name thrown around this morning, and I was surprised, and I'm still doubtful. But like I said,
I would like to see Dan come back, but again, it's the same reason I don't think Janelle's coming back. It's the legacy thing. Dan got first and second. He doesn't have to come back. Like he made his mark. Honestly, him coming back would only tamper his legacy. Because unless he gets second or wins again or gets third, which would be kind of funny, like first, second, third, then it's not really worth it for him. Like he's successful. He's really successful in what he does. I think he does some streaming stuff. And he's written a lot of books. I think he's written books, right?
I think he's still a coach for like a team or something as well.
Yeah, and he's a very inspirational speaker. So I think if he did bad on like a Big Brother season, it would really hamper his legacy. Like people already regard him as as either the best or second best player to ever play. A lot of people say the best.
In my opinion, I'm one of the people who think he's the best between him and Dr. Will, and I kind of lean more towards Dan, in my opinion. Just saying.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I disagree, Paul. I disagree with you. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Janelle was on 3 seasons, and she did really good season 6, and she also did really good in season 7, and then still came back for a 3rd season. And like you said, if it's the same exact thing with Janelle, it's like her legacy was good, so she probably figured coming back for a 3rd season wouldn't hurt because she did so well in 2 seasons. So if Dan Gheesling came back for this season, I don't necessarily think he would do bad. Yeah. Especially if you're talking about all these other people that are coming back, like Paul and Josh and Cody and Swaggy C. Weirdly, I think he would do pretty fine. Like,
if it's they could be a late person alliance though, I don't know.
So I think if Dan came back, he should come back with Derrick. It would be like the battle.
Oh my god!
So.
But then they put
also together. Are you kidding me? I would love to see that happen.
I just want Dan with Derrick in the same season, and Paul. Dan, Derrick, and Paul would be interesting to see.
Well, that was the first. That was
$1 million.
That I saw. Yeah, $1 million. And that was the first tweet that I saw about Dan, was that he was 100% confirmed in the same tweet as Derrick. Again, like, this is just some people posting this. Evil Dick retweeted that as well. I know I keep referencing him, but I kind of trust that he has some insider connections with this stuff. He's an alumni, and he's the only alumni who's really putting this out there because he can't come back. So I kind of trust that. And I've seen a bunch of other people say something about Dan too. I'm doubtful, but would I like to see Dan back? Who wouldn't?
I don't know. I would love to see him, but I just don't see it happening. That's just me. Yeah. But it would be a real treat. Like, I don't even know, like, you know, it's been almost 10 years since we've seen him. Like, it's been 8 years.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, if it's an all-star season, I mean, at the very least, I would expect like Janelle and Dan to come back to host a veto comp.
All right, let's talk about let's just have a discussion about the duo season, like potential twists. So a lot of these people that are coming back seem like they're in duos, like Swaggy and Bayleigh. There were some rumors with Tyler and Angela, as you mentioned, and like Janelle, Britney, and who else? I thought Frankie would have gotten paired with Derrick, honestly, but maybe it's Derrick and Dan. Who knows? Josh and Paul as a duo. So yeah, I mean, so there's been a lot of talk about this potentially being another duo season, kind of similar to season 13. What do you guys think about that? I don't really like. I prefer a normal season personally, but what do you guys think?
I think it would make more sense if you started all off as a duo season, just because like if you put Bayleigh and Swaggy C together, like they're married. Like, why wouldn't they ally together? So if you started off with a duo thing, it just kind of, I feel like, makes it more digestible per se to the audience to be like, all right, these people are paired together. Yeah. This is why they're going to compete together, as opposed to just if you just let like natural alliances form. Because one thing I'm afraid of is seeing Tyler and Angela team up with Swaggy C and Bayleigh. And just for the record, they're on pretty good terms outside the Big Brother house.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't want Big Brother 20 to just rule over the season. It's stupid. It's like Big Brother 6.
That's what I mean. So if you put the 4 of them in the same house, it's like, I'm not saying that there's going to be a natural alliance. Like, I would rather it be duo, just so you don't have a natural alliance of 4. Even though that would still.
It's still a natural alliance of 4.
Yeah, you kind of get what I mean, though. It's like.
No, I don't.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, like they're tied together, so I don't know what they'll do with the duo thing. But
Sometimes
Chris,
it's
go
not a
ahead.
bad. I'll play devil's advocate a little bit because I've seen seasons where there's like a trio that makes it to the fucking final six. BB17. What a fucking showman's and twins. So I think it depends because people might see those four and be like, let's work with them. And then later on, they'll be so easy to get out because everyone would want to get 4 people out rather than like 2 people out. So I can see it kind of going both ways. I don't think necessarily having those 4 in the same season is like a bad thing because it can go both ways. Yeah, they might be, like what Paul said, they might be like running the show for a little bit, but then people are going to be onto them so easily. So they'll just get out later on. So I don't necessarily think that's like a negative thing if all 4 of them were on the same season. And
I guess easy
because you have
targets too.
and the whole thing about like Swaggy and Bayleigh are married. It's like, yeah, they have the best bond. Like no matter what, they're not going to vote each other out. But then you have like other people that would probably never vote each other out, like Paul and Josh. I don't think they would ever vote each other out.
I don't know. I mean, I think Paul would to
Paul
save
and
his
Josh,
game.
I feel like if they had to.
I don't know.
I
Friends,
can see Josh. I can see Josh voting him out, or vice versa if they have to.
But that's how I feel about it. And that's how
Yeah, I would almost argue that Tyler and Angela wouldn't vote each other out. But then again, I mean, Tyler didn't have to make the vote, but he was all for getting Angela out to honor his final 2 with Casey. Just saying. But I mean, now I'm sure it's much different.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
So I do have one more question for you guys. I was going to bring up the pregame, but we kind of had a discussion about pregame stuff. But my last question,
running out of time so quickly.
Yeah, and also to our audience as well, is if these rumors are false, how would you feel?
I mean, it would just be stupid. I just think it would be stupid if they were false. Why is everyone talking about it? Does everyone just have no time on their hands? They're just making shit up for no reason.
Well,
I mean that's internet 101, but still.
If it's an all newbie season, I'm not watching it. I'm sorry, guys, because if everyone's hyped up with all this fucking all-star shit and it got me excited, and then it ended up being some bullshit, I'm done. I just want to see an all-star season at this point. Fuck it. Make these rumors up, let it happen. If it sucks, it's a sucky season. If it's a great season.
Yeah.
And that's how I don't really give a shit. I just don't want all these fucking rumors going around saying it's gonna be a returning player season or an all-star season, and it ends up being 16 people from fucking New Jersey, Texas, and so I don't want to see that right now. I want to see all-stars. I want that to be over with.
Right? Dave, thoughts quickly?
Yeah, so I mean, all honesty, I kind of feel like at the very least, I would say you'd have I think it was Big Brother 13. It was where they brought back about half the cast was returnees.
Mm-hmm. 6.
So at the very,
6 of them.
Yeah, all right. So, but I could see a good amount of the cast being returnees, worst case scenario. But the other reason why I find this more plausible than usual is just because, again, everything that's going on, and it's also much easier to just call up a bunch of alumni and be like, hey, you want to play this season, as opposed to having to sequester a bunch of new people, which is going to take more time, and they want to, I'm sure, get production going as soon as possible. And in addition to this, I feel like it is well known, kind of like with the Big Brother fandom, that if you bring back returnees, that they get higher stipend checks. And I think that's important to factor in because this year we didn't have Celebrity Big Brother, and it was kind of confirmed by Julie Chen that in order to do Celebrity Big Brother, they took a portion out of the original Big Brother's budget in order to do it. So they have more budget, arguably, for this season to bring back returnees. So I just feel like this is the most optimal time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. So, I guess I guess we can end it here. We hope you enjoyed this rumor list that has come out. Just some stuff we've seen online in the past couple of days. If we have any updates, maybe we'll do another update video, maybe in a week or two, to see where things are. Maybe when we have a premiere date, we don't even know when it's premiering, but rumors have it it's mid-July or August. So we'll see whenever the hell that happens.
Plus, I'd like to add too, if you guys have any rumors or predictions, let us know. We want to talk about this. We're Big Brother fans, which is why we're doing this. And if you're watching this, clearly you are too. So let us know who you think is going to come back or who else you heard of.
Yeah.
Or maybe you think that some of the rumors that we hear are crazy and you want to call us out on it. Do that too.
Yeah, if you want to call us morons, like, whatever, we're used to it. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below if you enjoyed watching this video. We also have a Patreon still. Yeah, we still do. It's in our link down below. And until next time, guys. Unless, Chris, you want to say anything?
No, you guys are awesome.
You guys are awesome. Until next time, guys. Either way, watch Breaking Homicide, everybody.
Is it good?
That's his show. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I read his book. His book is good.